Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another one. And so this is a pretty good video. I feel a lot of you will enjoy. Um, First off, I want to talk about a trade that I'm doing tomorrow. I guess we'll start with that. And then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So first of all, I was talking to someone about doing a trade, and they hit me up actually on my poster collection case that I have of all six of them. And they're like, hey, would you accept a Cynthia's Garchomp from Destined Rivals? I was like, probably not. And he's like, well, it is a $200 card. I'm like, is it? I'm like, huh. I look online, it is selling for $200. It's actually about a $220 card. And, it made me think. I was kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know, man. And I started talking to a couple of my buddies. I'm like, man, I don't know. Yeah, I know I'm not going to do all six of them. I hit him up and I'm like, bro, you take 3 poster collections for the Cynthia's Garchomp? He's like, that works. I'm like, what? And this is a pack fresh one near mint. And PSA 10s are selling for 800 right now. Not saying I would probably grade it or not, but yeah. So a trade I'm going to be doing tomorrow is 3 of these. Which, let me know if you guys would do this or not for the Garchomp. The Garchomp is kind of sick looking from Destined Rivals. It was a tough trade for me to come up with because I'm like, honestly, and I explained to the guy, was really straightforward with him about it. I'm like, I really don't mean to lowball you, man, but, I have to take into consideration that your singles card is probably going to absolutely just plummet as soon as it gets in my hands. I don't really want it that much, and yeah. So I offered him 3 and he just accepted it right off the snap. I'm like, whoa. And I mean, for me, I bought these for like $15 each, so I'm only going to have $45 in a Garchomp. Which, yeah, to me, it was just too tough to pass up. I don't really even want the card that much. But it is a nice card, to be fair. It is a pretty beautiful looking card that I think hopefully I can just offload it if anyone wants to buy Garchomp. I'll give you a hell of a deal, like fucking 150. I'll give it to you for 50 under market if anyone wants it. Well, let me know in the comments. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty mint too. I mean, the main reason I want it is just because it looks like it's a PSA 10 worthy copy. So yeah, I really couldn't say no. Sometimes it's really tough because like, I said to the guy, like, it could go completely south. Like that Garchomp could tank to like $80, and these could go up to 60 each, and they're 180, and then the Garchomp's 80. So, and he was cool with doing it, and yeah, what would you guys do? Would you guys trade 3 of these for a Cynthia's Garchomp, or would you rather just have 3 of these? Me, like on paper, it looks like a good trade, but in reality, is it? I don't know. I really don't know, to be totally honest. But I think we're just gonna do it anyway because the value is just there. So anyway, the next thing I want to talk about, the real meat and potatoes of this video, is I was watching someone kind of discuss this, and I completely agree. Of and like it is weird that no other channel has really discussed this of why Pokemon actually goes up and how it seems like everybody owns these boxes. And I made this mistake myself when I was first collecting, that I just had felt like everyone else was hoarding this stuff too, that like I was definitely not the only person, and I'm not by far the only person that is hoarding this stuff. I mean, there is mountains of people that are doing the same thing, but it's not like as prevalent. And the thing I really want to explain about Pokemon investing is it's fucking boring, bro. Like, it is extremely fucking boring. And so, like whenever you hear these like people complain about, scalpers and all this shit, and they loop like the collectors into being scalpers, I don't really agree with that because like as collectors, we have put our money in it, and it is fucking boring. It is so boring. And the shit we go through, that like if you bought Evolving Skies back at 125 a booster box. You went through so much mental abuse the entire time of like that is the challenge of like your mind is telling you to sell this shit, but your other part of your mind, like your fan of it, is saying keep it. Like when I sold my Ancient Origins, that I deeply regret doing, I should have never did that. I like was telling myself it went up so much, dude. Just take your money, take your win, use it for, bills that you need to just take care of. And I didn't even need the money, but I sold it anyway because I felt like I was so irresponsible just having like a $3,000 box just lay around and not like turn it back into money, I guess, because I had bought it so cheap when no one believed in it. And, now that I look back at it, it was just foolishness. I should have kept what I loved. I should have kept the box that I loved. And I should have bought a lot more. But, you know, you can't really beat yourself up on that. You're going to make tons of mistakes in this hobby. I mean, no matter how good you are, you're going to make shit tons of mistakes. But for anyone that bitches about the collectors and loops us into scalpers, though, I have to say, like, we are doing a job that most people won't do. And that is why Pokemon, like, inevitably goes up so much, is because no one is willing to fucking hold this shit forever. Like how, like, hold on. Evolving Skies is too good of an example because, of course, everyone will hold on to Evolving Skies. But, like, a set like Temporal Forces, how long do you think someone really wants to hold on to this box for? Even myself. Like, I don't even want to hold on to this box for, like, longer than, like, 2 or 3 years. Like, with Temporal Forces, I honestly just want to kind of take my money out of it and just be done with it. Because it just feels like such slow money. Because it really is fucking boring most of the time. Like, even when this was $145 a box, it just, like, slowly would go up $5 or $10 every couple days. And then it hit, $200. And that's just where it's at. And it's like, every box just, like, does this. And it's even like Surging Sparks, for example. Like, and sometimes it happens even worse where, like, you buy Surging, like, I think I paid $230 or $240 for this box, pretty much the max, and now it's $220. Surging's a good pickup, honestly. If you didn't get any of these, I would say to at least grab one booster box for your collection, just to have it in there, in your portfolio. But it drops $20 and you're just kind of like, fuck, now I gotta wait for that to, like, gain back and before I can even think about selling it. And then it has to gain a little bit more value, and it's just, every day, like that's the real challenge, is just holding on to this stuff so long, and that most of us as collectors, we're really doing Pokemon a favor in a way by just holding on to it for eternity and being patient as fuck. And people that are willing to hold on to something for a while and put their money in something and just be completely patient no matter if the price goes up or down, they deserve rewarded, because they do take the gamble of it going completely sideways and doing terrible. And, it's just like Crown Zenith, even. Like the Crown Zenith ETB of, like you could have bought these at 40 when nobody really cared about them. They were dirt cheap. No one really gave a shit. And, now they're 180, and it's just like, you had to really fucking believe in it yourself and hold on to it and, say, I love Crown Zenith. I don't care, that it hit 100. I don't care that when it hit 140, I'm still holding it because I love it. And now it's like 180. And that's just where, things are. And like Lost Origin, even when I got into it, it was $40. And this sat at $40 for like a year. It was so fucking boring of an investment. Like, and that's why I want to say, like, for most of you that think you're going to become like these professional investors and you're really new to this, you're probably not going to do very well because you're not going to be that patient. even myself as like what I consider a professional level investor, maybe not like a like super duper pro, but like definitely a top tier investor and probably one of the best, top 5 investors, top 10 investors in the world. It's when it comes to Pokemon and the knowledge of it. Um, Even I struggle to do it, because like my Lost Origin TVs, I just look at them on the shelf and I'm just like, these have sat here for so long, and I tell myself though, like, no, these are going to be the next $200 ETB. Just keep holding. Champion's Path too. Like, I'll get the Champion's Path in a second, but like Lost Origin, like it's set at $40 for like a year of the ETBs, and I just kept buying them, and then it hit 60 finally, and then it set at 60 for like eternity, and now it's at $100, and I think it's very cheap for that. I still think if you can get these for $100, it's a good pickup, but it's going to be fucking really boring, because you could have to hold this for years for it to literally double in price. I mean, it will happen eventually, but you just don't know. And, then you get the news and stuff, and compared to like Bitcoin, where it's like, or like the stock market, where there's just a news and it's changing all the time. And I mean, Pokemon, it does change, but, the stagnation periods are so long where you're just like, each time it goes up, it just goes up, stagnates, goes down a tiny bit, stagnates, goes back up, takes another run, doubles, stagnates for a while, and it's that way for all of these until it finally becomes just extremely expensive and old and hard to come by. And it's fucking boring. It's so boring and difficult to hold this stuff and just not fucking care. Like 151 UPCs. I've wanted to sell them off since I've gotten them. When they were $80, as soon as they hit $300, I wanted to cash out so fucking bad. Because I had waited out like the most boring year of them not moving. They set at $80, and now they hit like 2, then 300, and it's fucking boring, dude. Like, it's so hard to just sit and forget your shit. And that is, especially when you have like, tens of thousands of dollars in Pokemon, is like, you almost have to have that mindset of just like, I don't care. I'm leaving this shit sit for 10 years. I don't care if Iran gets blown up and Pokemon prices plummet. I don't care what happens. I'm holding on to my shit. I'm not fucking selling. And I'm like that with Chilling Reign, especially. I refuse to sell Chilling Reign. I refuse to sell Fusion Strike, even though it's probably at some of the highest points it's going to be for a little bit. And I could wait another 4 or 5 years for these massive gains, or I could lose the massive gains that I've gotten. And that battle inside of your head is what makes it really, really, really tough. And most of you will not be able to handle it. You will get your first taste of good tendies, and you will want to cash. You won't want to like wait till it hits the top. I mean, like, even battle styles, like, this took such extreme patience to wait for it to go from $100. First of all, to buy it at $100 when no one wanted it and everyone hated it, and it had that about it, and now it's $200, and it's just like, I'm still patiently waiting because I know it's not at its top yet, and I'm willing to wait that out longer than mostly anyone else is, because I don't need the money and I don't care. And this leads me to my next box that I've bought a lot of, is Champion's Path. I just love the artwork of Champion's Path. I think it's a banger set, but like, it's been so boring. Like I bought these at like $85. They're now, I don't even know. They went to 140. Then now they went back down to like 120. I think sometimes you find them for 110. I mean, but I believe in it long term that it will be a $200 to $300 ETB, and I just keep holding and not caring, And it's if I needed the money, it'd be a lot tougher for me to do so, to play the long game. would be a lot harder because it's just very, very tough and aggravating and annoying. And like a month in Pokemon feels like literally 2 years. I mean, literally like a month feels like it's been 2 years. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. But anyway, I gotta see what the hell my dog's doing. But so I'm gonna end this one. But I just want to like throw it out there. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna see what the hell my dog's doing. Hold on. Barking at himself. Anyway, we're back. But yeah, where was I going with this? So it's just really fucking boring. That anyone that is getting their good tendies from this, they fucking deserve it, dude. Like, so the next time you are dealing with someone, you're buying a booster box from someone, and you think they're a scalper or an asshole, and really they are selling you an older box, not just some modern shit like 151 or something, or hell, even 151's older, but if they're selling you prismatic, whatever, you can be pissy and think they're a scalper, but have some respect for the collectors that you are dealing with, because they held on to it when they were called stupid, dumb, idiots, everything in the book. They went through like 50 mental mind games of like to sell it or not to sell it. I mean, Evolving Skies, for an example. I mean, I really want to explain like what happened with Evolving Skies. I bought these at 125. I sold them when they hit 625 because it would just seem like the easiest money in the world. I was going to sell them at like 450, then they hit 625, and you're like, this has to be it. And then luckily, I sold them, lost like $200 in eBay fees, and then I bought them both back for fucking $625 each. Glad I did, because now they're $2,000. But like, those are the mental mind games that you play with yourself, and it's like, whatever the price of this stuff is, the people that have it, they deserve it, man. If they've held on to it this long, they deserve every fucking penny of it. Because it's very fucking difficult. It requires, like, it sounds easy. Like it sounds easy enough. Buy something. Hold on to it. Don't fucking look at it. Well, look at it. Enjoy it. But don't touch it. Don't sell it. Just leave a bunch of shit stacked in your closet and you'll make shit tons of money. And I mean, it is kind of that easy, isn't it? But if you're in this, every day you're going to look at it and say, like, I don't really care. Like, I should just sell it. Like, I'm like that with Unbroken Bonds. I bought this for $500. It's now $2,000. But I tell myself, why should you do it? It's just going to be more rare and expensive in a couple more years. Like, why even get rid of it? Same with Chilling Reign. I personally want a little bit more Chilling Reign, but, you go through this mental gymnastics in your head of like, should I sell? Should I hold? What the hell should I do? And, the answer is hold as long as you possibly can, because it's just going to get more expensive. The more patient you are, the more expensive it's going to get over time. So it's so easy for me to tell everyone to just hold. That, the tops are not here for a lot of this stuff. I even seen a debate on like Paldea of like, well, when it hits 400, you should just sell it. There's people that hit $600, $700, $800, and it probably will. And same thing with Chilling Reign. I don't understand why a lot of people are sleeping on Chilling Reign. It's going to be a $700, $800 box. It's just a matter of when and waiting it out. Even these Mewtwo V Union boxes, these are so fucking sick. I bought this in a giant like $2,000 collection a couple years ago. And, this was a $40 box. And it's like, now this is, these are going for $100 all day. And this wasn't even something I really wanted in my collection. It just kind of like was in a big deal, and now it's in my collection. Like a good bit of this stuff is how I ended up with it, just buying people's collections out and being like, fuck it, give me all your shit. Here's cash, And, but it's fucking boring. It's the most boring, aggravating thing to hold on to this stuff and not sell it, because at the end of the day, your money that you worked for is tied up in this stuff. That you know, and you start to think like, I want to enjoy that money. You know, it's time for me to enjoy it instead of holding on to it for future generations to enjoy. You know, you know, a lot of people may like think I'm a scalper and all that shit, but my mindset when I was buying my evolving ETBs was, man, I wish my parents bought a bunch of these for me. You know, I wish my parents bought a bunch of steel Pokemon, left it in the fucking closet for me. And I said to myself, if I ever have kids, I am not going to be that person that doesn't invest at least something into sealed and hold it for the next generation of humans. Because it seemed like no one else actually was doing it. And I was right. I was right. You know, some people did it. But, you know, how many of these do you really see? You know, and I bought these because I knew in my heart that there would be no one else that would hold on to these. You know, no one else would hold on to Costco Evolving Skies ETBs and buy them at $40 a piece and believe in them until they're $1,000 each. You know, and you know, now I'm probably one of the only people that have these. I'm probably one of the only fucking people that held on to Costco Evolving Skies ETBs and didn't sell them or rip them for profit because I believed in them. I'm probably one of the only people that have held on to it for 3 years steadily and believed in it the entire fucking time to do good and say, I'm not selling. You know how many times I was offered double my money for this stuff? You know how many times I was offered triple my money, quadruple my money? Hell, I was offered 10 times my money for this stuff. And I still refuse to sell it. Because I know its potential now. You know. And looking back at it, it's all I bought. But I am one of the few people that held on to this stuff for 3 years. Patiently. Well, it didn't go up for most of that. You know, it's set at nothing. People thought I was stupid. You know, I had a lot of people think I was dumb as hell for holding on to these boxes for the first year, and it didn't move at all. I mean, these set at $40 for the first year, and everyone thought I was a fool. Everyone. They just thought I threw my paycheck into cardboard. You know, my paycheck's into cardboard, and, you know, that was so far from the case. And even the mental gymnastics hit me. Every day, though, that you're a collector, it goes through your mind. And then when it doubled to 80, you think, well, I just doubled my money. I should just sell all 20 of them and be done with it. You know how many times it's crossed my mind? When they hit 80, they set at 80 for like 6 months. Every day on those 6 months, it crossed my mind. I should just sell. I should take my profits. But instead, you know what I did? I bought more. And I wish I would have bought a lot more. But, and even then, I felt so stupid. Here I am. You know, I bought 20 of these for $40, and I'm buying them for 80. It just didn't, it didn't even make sense. And I wasn't even getting the window tin ones. It was just the regular ETVs I was paying 80 for. I wasn't even getting the window tin. But I knew something deep down that these were going to be extremely fucking tough to find one day. And here we are. 3 years later. I'm probably the only one that has Costco Evolving Skies ETBs in bulk. And that has held them this long patiently. And I'm telling you, it was a battle that I refused to sell them until they're $1,000. Like, at least. That even though they're $400 and I've 10x my money in 3 years, which is incredible, I refuse to sell them at this point. Because I know they're going to get worse. And that's just where I'm at. But my point is, whenever you're dealing with people and buying their collections or buying whatever, and they've held on to stuff this long, treat them with some decency. Don't treat them like they're some scalper. Because a lot of people truly loved this stuff and believed in it. And they held the bag for you to even be able to find it now. And even if I didn't have this stuff, I've always had that respect for people. Like when I bought my Ancient Origins box, the guy I bought it from, I had the respect for him because yes, he made a shitload of money off me, but he held the bag for me for like 3 or 4 years, and he deserved his money. You know, he was patient. He deserved rewarded. And then I was patient, and then I got rewarded. It's waiting your turn in line, essentially. Of I bought Ancient Origins for $1,200. He probably bought it for $300, so he made like almost $1,000. I waited a couple months for myself, and I made a couple $1,000s off it, and then whoever bought it off me made a couple $1,000s off it now too. So that's where we're at. So have some respect for the people you deal with in this market, especially the collectors. I'm not a big fan of the scalpers either, guys, but don't sum in collectors and scalpers together because your collectors just go through such a mental battle, and everyone that held on to Sword and Shield went through the roughest. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're out.